Welcome.
Welcome,
it is the Appalachian Alliance. I am your host, Tom Reiser. Along with me, the co-host of the Alliance, Mr. Mitchell Church. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How you doing, Tom?
Man, the sun is shining, and it is spring in Appalachia. We're outside once again. Last week, we had to do things indoors, and it was horrible.
Yeah, the weather around here, winter doesn't want to leave its grip on us just yet. You know, it was cold last week, but like you said, spring's in the air, pollen's in the air, colors are starting to emerge. Yeah. This is one of the few times where you get to truly see the different colors other than fall. You know, fall is big in Appalachia, but to me, spring's just as big because I'm seeing lavender and pink and red and brown and orange and yellow and green, and it's just beautiful this time of year.
The hills are a little green around the gills.
Yeah,
that's the way I like it.
They're coming alive, baby.
Yeah. They're alive with music. Mm-hmm. Isn't that beautiful? Well, it's episode 8 of Survivor 48. And what an episode it was. There's folks that are hating on this season.
I don't know why.
Online.
I don't know why.
There's a
great season.
There's a lot of hate out there, Mitchell Church. I know you're not on X. For some reason, Elon doesn't like you.
Yeah, he don't, man.
And you're not allowed to be on X.
I don't know why.
You've been banned forever.
I don't know why.
Or something.
I
don't get it. But anyway, so we open up to night 14, and Chrissy comes back and says, y'all don't have to listen to what I say in tribal council.
Yeah,
don't listen to what I say. Which is hilarious.
We said it last episode. She sunk her game at tribal. She tried to do damage control, and I honestly think no one wanted to just hear that shit. They, they were like, okay, you clearly got to go, and we'll dive more into that at our upcoming tribal council.
Yeah. So. Well, she was on the short list anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There were several suspects, but. Among them, she was the chief. I think.
And she made herself the chief by blowing up her game at tribal. Yeah. This whole kumbaya crap and all that, Yeah,
we called it.
Yeah, we did. We called it. People are playing the game, just not how you want to play it. That's another aspect of this game. Like, if I was on Survivor, I'd do this, this, and this. Bro, you have no idea what this game's going to throw at you.
Yeah, really.
So,
and you can find yourself on the outs in a minute.
Yes, exactly. This game turns that fast. So, I can't believe there's haters on this season because, to me, this is one of the best seasons of the new era.
I think
possibly
it's been
the
great.
Best
season. I think it's been great. I've been entertained. Possibly because it's a mixture of theories, right?
Yeah.
Gameplay. There is a different sort of vibe,
exactly.
Right? And a lot of people don't like that, right?
Yeah.
But hey, it is, to me, it is what it is, and you gotta love it for what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and when you get out there, you gotta play the hand you're dealt, not the hand you want. You know what I mean? So I think that's where she's coming from. Is like she wants 4 aces and a king, but she got a pair of deuces. So but coming back from tribal, she's immediately on the apology tour. Like we see.
Don't be listening to me.
Yeah.
I'd be talking crazy at tribal.
Yeah,
that's not what I meant.
That's not the real me. Hello, me. Meet the real me. Sorry there.
Meet the real me.
Yeah. But she's on damage control. Nobody's wanting to hear it. And then, I remember Mitch is, trying to formulate, how he's going to play this game. He's thinking aloud a lot more of, what moves do I need to make? I remember that.
And Mitch... God bless him. I think he's on a short list. He's just a
poor Mitch just wants to eat some tacos, son.
Which I don't blame him.
I don't either.
I personally love tacos.
Yeah.
And you couldn't have peeled me off of that pole if there were tacos involved.
Yeah.
But
we'll
I digress.
Yeah.
Right? We manifested the poll challenge.
We did, man.
Okay?
We called it. We called it.
We manifest that. We put it into the universe.
Yeah. And
Jeff
Probst answered.
Either we knew, right? Deep in the recesses of our minds that
Our survivor unconsciousness.
Right.
Yeah.
This had already happened.
Yeah.
So Mary's the last Vula member
Yeah.
and still going strong.
I think Mary could sneak in and win. I think Mary and
I'm telling
Camilla are dangerous, son. They are dangerous because Mary's already mastered. She played mind games on Say.
Right.
If you remember, like she
Yeah.
just came back calm, cool, and collect, and it pissed Say off to no end because Say's like she got something. She
Right.
had nothing,
Nothing. Not
and
a thing.
still got by. So Mary, that move alone made me like, this chick can play.
Yeah, and she's
You
in
know?
with the in crowd
Yes.
right now.
Yeah, her and David are a real tight bond.
And how that happened, I have no idea.
Well, David said.
When did that happen?
Well, David said, he said, we've been doing these challenges a lot together.
Yeah,
and
I
they
guess that's
just
it.
formed a challenge bond, and that's David's thing. He's all
Right.
about challenges and strength and all that. So,
Yeah.
And I think that's Mary's strategy is just to. I think she's using David as a shield personally.
Well,
and that's the biggest shield out there beside Joe. So.
Yeah, well, and that's the last thing he wants is to be a shield.
Yeah.
And we'll go into that. So they wake up the morning of day 15 and Eva says, what's the largest animal you think you could take in a fight?
Yeah.
Now, all right, let's talk about this for a minute because you and I have interacted with wild animals.
Yes.
Living in Appalachia.
Yes.
there
Almost
is
on a daily basis.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you don't understand. Listen.
Yeah, this is city people talking about zoo animals.
To you out there who thinks they can take any kind of wild animal,
No.
you can't.
No.
It's impossible.
No.
Like
and Joe goes for the silverback gorilla,
So
the
Eva,
old one.
yeah. Eva says a female deer. Now a deer will mess you up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you right
Even
now.
gonna have hoof prints on that nose, son.
Yeah. Yeah.
If she can catch the dang thing,
Oh,
you know.
yeah, no,
I mean,
you
you ain't
ain't
catching
catching
no
it.
female deer.
You
know.
ain't catching it. All right, and then Joe, I'm
old
gonna pick
silverback.
on an old silverback.
No.
Get out of
Bro,
town.
that thing's arm is your body. You know what I mean? Like
these gorillas are yoked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just naturally, and just imagine. Now, I've heard somebody say, we've never seen a gorilla who has been lifting weights,
No.
who is weight trained.
No.
Right? Imagine
Yeah.
if we had.
Yeah.
Right. But they have an unnatural strength.
Yeah. I mean, they're brute strength, man,
And when you pick on an old man,
yeah.
anyway, they got
Yeah.
the old man strength.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna mess with you. They're just gonna break you.
Yeah. I think at this point this shows how starvation has started to make some judgments not so clear on Survivor, because we go from a silverback gorilla, or I'm sorry, a female deer, to a silverback gorilla, and then Kyle says a hyena.
A hyena.
No.
Right.
No way.
Sure.
Sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, the hyenas. But
I would have said like a chihuahua
yeah,
or a hermit crab.
and then you might
that
get one
chihuahua
over.
might mess me up.
You might get over on a chihuahua.
Sorry.
Maybe.
Yeah,
right?
maybe. Yeah.
And then somebody says, one of the females says, maybe it'll bite off your wart.
Yeah, and he says, here we go again. Yeah, great comedy there. I think it was Mary, wasn't it?
It sounded like
yeah.
it. I don't think there was a shot of who really said it. It was a
But
group
you hear
shot.
Kyle say, here we go again.
But yeah, that's a group of people who have never really dealt with a wild animal before.
Yeah, really.
Because
that's city folk pretending to be outdoorsmen. That's what that is.
No. Wild animals are a whole different breed.
Yeah.
Y'all.
Yeah.
It ain't happening. Now, if you're yeah.
My shirt right
Yeah.
here, that's I can show you some trash. The possum and the raccoon. I wouldn't want to fight these two.
No.
Okay?
Not
at all.
No.
No.
A raccoon?
That'll mess you up, son.
Get out of here.
Quick.
Yeah. So, anyway.
So,
I digress.
They get, after the animal charade, Shaheem says they're supposed to paint the flag, but nope, tree mail comes.
Right.
And I my heart's out to him because he's like, I've never been right this entire game. You know, and that's a mentality of Survivor that's not talked about a lot. Like people admitting, like, I thought I had this figured out, but nope, this is this is different. To me, that's normal Survivor.
Yeah. Well, and that's by design. They want to keep these people off of their game.
Yes.
And they're gonna try to surprise them.
Yes.
At every turn.
Yeah, it's Curveball City this season, man, for sure.
Yeah.
You know?
So they've got to pair up, I guess, a female and a male.
Yep.
And here, if I am a player here, I'm pushing a random draw.
Yeah.
Give me a random draw. That way, nobody
a random draw protects your hidden alliance.
Exactly. Because this harkens back to the pecking order challenges that they used to have. Now they don't really have those anymore.
No, they don't.
They make them pair up.
Well, and even on some challenges, Jeff says we're going to do a schoolyard pick. We never get to see the pick, so this is like one of the first times in a while where we've seen them pair up. And it's very interesting. And Joe, I love Joe's commentary about, he's like, okay, note that. You know, he said that first. Joe's playing the game.
And he's the one that pushed it.
Yeah, and that's how you do it. That's how you do it. He pushed this idea just to see where those lines are going to be drawn in the sand. Yeah. You know?
And that shows Joe's gameplay. Not only is he a strong competitor in challenges and, you know, he's a big guy. He's very athletic. He's very calculated at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, Joe is there to win $1 million.
Yeah, and watch it. If you don't watch, he's going to take it from you.
Yeah, exactly.
So everybody has to pick. He says, you know, we're here to play $1 million. Do y'all want to chance that?
Yeah.
Right? And he dares everybody. You know. Yeah. And so what do? Of course, when somebody plays chicken with you on Survivor, You take it.
You gotta do it.
You got to do it, or you're gonna
do it,
or you're gonna look weak.
Yep.
Right.
And that could be very well the target painted on your back for tribal council.
And so Shaheem picks Camilla.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Yeah. And changes the entire conversation throughout the entire episode.
Yep.
For the next day. These folks can talk about nothing but Shaheem and Camilla being aligned.
Yeah, that Shaheem painted a target on his back doing that, and it was random. And even Camilla says, I've never been picked first for anything.
Right.
You know, and then Shaheem picks her randomly.
Right. Yeah.
And they don't even, to my knowledge, I didn't see it. They didn't have that good of a chemistry.
No.
You know, it was very random.
Well,
you know?
And I think Shaheem got caught up in the challenge, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Right? He was way behind, and they didn't even make it past the first cut.
No,
right?
they didn't.
So,
it was,
it
was pairs of two.
Right.
The first four pairs, or first three pairs, was it three pairs that move on?
Yes.
They get a chance to win reward, which is tacos.
Right. Yeah.
And then the final two, they go on to see who wins immunity. Was that how?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good deal.
They go into single elimination, right?
Yeah, and this challenge was brutal, man. They had to dig through, and I noticed a lot of them learned from the previous challenge, and they had their face up, and they were climbing the other way. Mary did that. Yeah, that's
our girl, Mary.
She just blitzed through that thing, son. You know.
So Shaheem pairs up with Camilla. We talked about that. David takes Mary.
Yep.
Who is now they're a duo. Kyle and Chrissy.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Eva takes Joe. But they were the last two.
Yeah. Well, and we'll get into that after this challenge bit. How, you know, I want to address some statements made during, you know, about that. You know, Chrissy says something about that later at Tribal.
Yeah.
And we'll come back to that.
Well, and she says here, I can't let them run the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eva and Joe.
Yeah, it's the Eva and Joe show. They're running the show.
It absolutely is the Eva and Joe show.
Yeah.
And they've kind of allowed this to happen, and I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, because I think a lot of them are thinking about post game.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And rightfully so. You can get buried in the comments, and but from what I've seen, a lot of folks are turning on these two. So I don't know. Now, Eva tells everybody about Chrissy talking smack and lying.
Yep.
And if they were smart, they would have taken Shaheen out.
Yep.
Which, is true.
Is true. But that's the thing. Chrissy's letting her mouth just get her in trouble.
Well,
you know,
my dad used to say, this is one of them old Appalachian sayings. You're going to let your jaybird ass override your alligator mouth.
Yeah.
Right?
My daddy used to say, God gave you 2 ears and a mouth. That means you should listen twice as much as you talk.
There you go.
You know?
So, and I loved Mitch's analogy here of the first day of school.
Oh, yeah. That was
right?
great. That
do
was
I
beautiful.
sit with my old friends or do I take
alone?
a shot and sit with the cool kids?
Yeah.
What do I do here on the first day of school?
Great analogy from a school teacher.
Yeah. And that's a guy who's spent a lot of time in the school system, you can tell.
Yeah.
So Mitch is trying to get the old Siva back together.
Which is not, when I was watching that, I'm like, they're not going to do that.
No.
I don't think this
None of
tribe,
them.
Siva Strong, I don't think this is the individual. Mitch needs to catch up to the individual game. I don't think there's tribes like Siva Strong or nothing like that.
Right.
You know, he's trying, I think that's the straw he's grasping at.
Yeah, he's grasping at straws at this point. He's trying to get something going. Bless his heart.
Yeah.
Camilla is with it. Of course, she knows she needs to make a move along with Kyle, but Kyle is stuck in the middle here.
Yeah.
And that's gonna implode here soon. Now we're on to the challenge. Shaheen, as Jeff says, pair up, y'all. Shaheen says, "Uh-oh, Club Condo."
Yeah. Again.
And Jeff says, Club Condo's a part of Survivor now. I love it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I've Googled it.
I don't know.
I've Googled it several weeks in a row.
It's
and I cannot find out. There's nothing on Google. Maybe I'm not cool enough or something. I don't know. So the rewards tacos and chocolate cupcakes, and it made me hungry. Tacos are my favorite, man.
Yeah. And poor Ava just. Oh, who wins the challenge? Do you have that?
Now. Yeah, I have that. So Shaheen was dead last in the first heat.
Yeah.
And so Joe and Eva move on. David and Mary move on. Kyle and Chrissy move on. Now, Star and Mitch could not find the step in the sand and is eliminated.
Yep.
How can you not find a giant step?
I don't know, man.
I mean,
I don't know.
I guess it happens.
Maybe they were both digging in the same spot and it was over there or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
like we say, we're not there. It's Survivor. So who knows?
Star and Shaheen, man. They just
Star or Mitch.
Mitch. Yeah.
So the step puzzle, something we've seen many times.
Classic.
It's a classic Survivor thing. Most of the time, you see this in one of the final challenges.
Yeah, this used to be Final Four. When they had the big slide and they had to build the steps and they had to get up to the puzzle. Yeah, that's old school Survivor with a new twist. And I love this challenge. I love the rope bridge that they had to build out of the 3 planks. And man, some of them just whipped right through it. I mean, David and is it David and Mary? Yeah, man, they just
they're first to finish.
They whipped through that sucker, no time flat.
They do.
Joe and Eva right on their heels most of it.
Yeah.
Kyle and Chrissy
fall.
Well, they were booking it though. They were booking it. They were going quickly. I think they went too fast, and then they did fall into the safety net. And, had to start. Well. They didn't even get a chance to start over.
They were trying to climb up.
Yeah.
At the beginning here, Shaheen to Camilla, we would have crushed this.
Yeah.
Right? And they're good at they're puzzle makers, right? They would have been they would have, but it is what it is.
You got to make it to the puzzle to crush it, Shaheen.
Really. So Joe and Eva move on, and David and Mary on the pole. We called it. Once again, we knew it was coming, and again and again, Jeff and everybody says, these footholds are non-existent anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, they're tiny.
Yeah.
There's about that much of a foothold.
Yeah,
in
it's not even like even back in the day you could get like a big toe in or some part of your foot.
Yeah.
Not now. It's basically just routed out to look as if there's something there.
So
you got to deadlock your legs around it.
There's no grabbing onto a foothold or a handhold or anything. It's gone. Now I looked at an old video of. Do you remember when Parvati?
Oh yeah, baby.
Just had 1 foot sideways and was just standing there
stretching yoga out.
Yeah, she was just like, "Hey,
what's going on?"
Yeah. In her Parv charm,
greatness. Great player.
So
my wife, even when we was watching this last night, my wife said women usually win this challenge more than men.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Right. This is not and we see that David struggles immediately, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He
was
falls
first out.
Yeah. So all that muscle don't help in every challenge.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what Tyson always says. He says these muscle guys, Survivor is not built for guys like that.
No.
And so he's out, Joe's out, and the two ladies are there.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking at this point, Mary's going to win this.
I thought so too, because Eva's face was just. I mean, this is great directing and casting and production, because it would show Eva's face, and I was thinking, man, she's not going to make it. And she's the hockey girl, you know, like Skinny Mary's going to pull this out,
She's got that weight. She's got a lot of muscle on her.
She does.
She's got more muscle than I got.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sure. And so I'm thinking, no, she's not. She ain't happening. But in that Parvati video, there was a groove in that at least that wide.
Yeah.
3-4 inches wide.
Yeah, they could put the side of their foot in it and rest their,
Yeah.
Yeah, but not now.
Not now. So Joe's done first. We I have Joe was done first.
Oh, okay.
David tries to hold on. No dice. And Mary says, "I'm pretending this is my boyfriend."
Yeah. Great strategy. And
I saw a tweet from her that said, "We broke up. Here's the song I wrote about it."
Oh God.
So,
oh my God.
she's a good follow. Find her on X. Someone distracts and some don't. Eva likes the distraction. Mary doesn't. And so Jeff, he's like, well, I heard you. Let's I'll pipe down.
Yeah. Respect, Jeff.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah. So way to go, Jeff. So Eva with the hockey legs, which if you all have never been on ice skates,
I haven't.
That's a thing.
I haven't.
That's a thing.
I've been in rollerblades, but
it's your legs push you.
Well, that's how you move. I mean,
that's
you have
how
to have strength in your legs to move in that game.
So, Eva with the win, and Chrissy to Kyle back at camp. We got to go after Joe and take the head off the snake.
Yep.
Which is the smart move.
Yes.
This is the smart move.
But their problem is that they don't have the numbers.
No.
They're the minority. They can't, and there's cracks forming with Kyle because David is now starting to be suspicious of Kyle because the losers of the challenge, it's Star, Mitchell, who else? Who goes on the Kyle and Camilla, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
They have to do a separate challenge where their vote is risked, and it's a game with like red and gray balls.
Right.
And after it's all said and done, Star doesn't have a vote.
Right.
So she loses her vote.
Mitch and Camilla are communicating.
Yes.
And nobody picks up on it.
No.
And this is where I say, in these situations, you got to pay attention to these little micro expressions that people have.
Yeah.
And it's very, I can't express how important that is in this game to
Yep.
pick up on these little micro expressions, because people are trying to mask, but just for a second you can see
comes out.
the way they really feel.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so that's what they missed, and Star unfortunately loses her vote.
Poor Star.
Poor Star.
And at Tribal, she says, or when she loses her vote, she says, "I'm going to sit and watch like I do at home because nobody's talking to me."
Yeah.
You know?
I love her.
I love her too, man.
I love her. So, okay. The advantage in the Chip Bowl controversy. There is controversy. I don't know whether you're aware.
No.
There is controversy about the Chip Bowl and where it was placed. Okay? Because if you see a wide shot of this reward,
Yeah.
it's assigned seating.
Okay.
There are name tags
Where they're
supposed to sit. And this advantage was right in front of Eva. And so people are losing their minds saying that Survivor is rigged and they're pulling for Eva. Which,
I mean,
is a valid concern.
it is, but at the same time, Eva could have passed that bowl to somebody.
Right.
They could have seen it.
Right.
Grabbed it.
Right.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I think Eva just had the luck of the draw sitting there.
Well,
you know,
here's
and I love Eva's game about how she wants to keep a secret to
Oh.
herself because nobody knows this, and I don't even think she's going to tell Joe.
No, she didn't.
No,
And she didn't. And so,
that's a crack in the alliance
and that's
right there.
that's a crack.
Mm-hmm.
That's a crack. But I think it's smart.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's smart.
What
that's
was her
what I would have
advantage,
done.
Tom? I can't remember. Was
So-
it
So all right. So let's dive into this. Okay.
All right.
So and we'll come back to that after she reads the scroll.
Okay.
Okay. Because there's a gap here.
Yeah.
Okay. So she stuffs it in her pants. Nobody saw it.
Nope.
And she said, "I'm keeping this one for myself."
Yeah.
Which is, to me, a smart move.
Then she picked out on
If
tacos.
she doesn't get busted.
Yeah.
Okay. So David and Mary are floating Camilla or Shaheen.
Yep.
Mary knows Camilla is secretly aligned with someone, but she thinks it's Shaheen.
Yeah. And it's Kyle.
It's Kyle.
And now David is starting to be sus of Kyle because they throw Camilla's name and Kyle should be like, okay, done.
Right.
But then Kyle says, I need like 20 minutes to process this. And,
Yeah.
and David's just calling him out saying, bro,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
black and white.
I've got a bad.
This name.
You're giving me a bad feeling right now.
Exactly. So I think this is the ending of the alliance of 5 or 6 with
Right.
Mary.
Yes.
I think this alliance is already starting to crumble.
Yeah.
So for players like Mitch, who are on the bottom and
Right.
Star,
That's an opportunity. That's
a crack. So
Yeah, that's definitely a crack. And
Excuse me.
the biggest reason I'm still a Mary fan is that she says my spidey senses are tingling in the worst way possible, and I love it.
yeah.
I love it because she's picking up on something that she hasn't even seen.
Yeah, there's like you were talking about earlier, Tom, with those micro looks, you know, body language
Yeah.
says it all. And
Yeah,
correct me
and-
if I'm wrong, but isn't Mary a counselor?
Yes.
Okay, so
She is a
counselors are
counselor.
trained in that. So
Yes.
if something's off, a good counselor, which I'm sure Mary is fantastic,
Yeah.
can pick that up. You do develop this sixth sense of
Yeah.
like not reading people, but knowing something's going on here.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
something more to this.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And that's, she's running on gut feelings and intuition, and that's why she's dangerous. That's why I think she's going to go very, very far.
Well, and Kyle's pissed because Kyle says Mary's got David in her pocket, and she's screaming Camilla,
right.
and
Yeah.
David's just going along with it.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because they're tight. You know, they're bros now.
Yep.
So
All right. So Eva comes back and she's like, I've got to go lay down somewhere.
I ate too many tacos.
I had too many times, which is probably
which is
true.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she lays down on the beach and she reads the scroll. Now, It is for tomorrow night.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes me think that this was set up for the winner of the challenge.
Yes.
And it wouldn't have mattered who won the challenge.
Yeah.
That whoever that would have been, that's where they would have sat.
Yes. Yes.
And
absolutely.
So I don't think it shows any bias toward Eva because it would have been Mary or anyone else that would have won because that's for tomorrow night. That doesn't help her at all.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Well, I don't think Survivor's stupid enough to do what people are claiming that they're doing. They've been doing this for a long time, 25 years.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're going to purposefully try to rig a game. That's not what this game's designed for. I don't see Jeff allowing it to happen at all. You know, I think Eva just had the luck of the draw on this advantage.
Right. And you're right. It could have went to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it just so happened to be Eva sitting there.
Right. And somebody could have passed the, hey, give me a chip.
Yep.
And they found it.
Yep.
Right. So, anyway, I think it was set up for whoever won the challenge. Mm-hmm. And if they were really going to rig the thing, they would have picked those name tags up.
Yeah, really. Yeah, they wouldn't give you evidence of who's sitting there. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's
so,
yeah.
Joe tells Kyle they want Camilla, and Kyle's on shaky ground right now.
Yeah.
He's trying really hard to keep Camilla.
Yeah.
And he's trying to mask it, and he's not doing a very good job.
No, he's not. Kyle's scrambling. Kyle is scrambling, and they're all like, why is he scrambling? This should be done.
Yeah.
Question marks are being raised. Yeah. Eyebrows are being raised. Just like last episode with Chrissy, I think we're starting to see the beginnings of Kyle's game getting sunk.
It's quite possible unless they form some kind of a backdoor alliance and
if Kyle can
pull the numbers. Mm-hmm. If they pull the numbers, and I think everybody is kind of getting tired of David because it's been 14, 15 days.
Yeah, David's probably in steroid shock or something. He's in, he is going.
He's hurting.
A little crazy. He's
hurting right now because he needs probably 3,000 calories to maintain.
Minimum, probably.
Okay.
Well, he's not having his gallon of chocolate milk a day. So
exactly.
That'd make me go nuts.
Yeah, and what is that, 2,000 calories?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We'll have to look it up. But
somebody Google that and let us know.
Yeah, but
so
David is getting unraveled, and I think that's why Mary's attached herself to him.
Maybe.
I think so.
Maybe.
She sees David freaking out a little bit.
And she's like, trying to help. Maybe she's trying to help him.
Yeah, hello, puppet. Come here.
Right. Yeah, let's see what you can do. So the only thing that saves the whole thing is that Kyle tells Joe that Chrissy is saying his name.
Which is true.
It's totally true.
It's true. Kyle has been, and Kyle doesn't play that way. You know, at least we haven't seen Kyle play that way. Kyle's been like straight up a little bit with most people, but just to throw Chrissy under the bus, which is absolutely true. Right. Kyle's, and I give Kyle props. He's trying to save his number one.
Right.
I mean, he's just trying to do the best he can. And Chrissy is saying very valid stuff. Let's cut the head off the snake.
Yeah.
Chrissy was right. If they vote off Joe, Eva's vulnerable. She's gone.
Right.
Okay, and that's two. When you cut off the head of the snake, that's two that you're taking out, Joe and Eva.
Yeah.
And, I digress. Anyways,
so
we're getting ready to go to tribal.
I love this quote from Camilla.
Okay.
All right. She's in a confessional and says, David is so stupid. He shouldn't have played Survivor. He should have called up Eva and Joe and said, let's go enter the Olympics together because he wants to do all of these bleep challenges together.
Yeah. Great.
Camilla. We love you.
We love you, Camilla.
We love
you.
Yeah.
Even when you're pissed and not fed.
And that's the best version of you.
Yeah.
Just let that out all the time. Okay. So Star is looking at the group talking from the shelter.
Yeah.
And she said, I wish this had subtitles.
Yeah, then it shows subtitles
Yeah,
like,
the
we need to do this. Yeah, it was great.
Oh, fantastic.
It was great.
Yeah. So
We get to tribal.
Cedric is on the single-person jury seat.
Yeah.
Is that a new thing?
Yes.
Because I
It
remember
used to
it,
be the booth, and
Right.
they'd all sit. Yes.
and now they've just put out a stool for Cedric.
Yeah.
Anyway, Star, when you got no vote, you got nothing but time.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah. Star, Star, do a podcast.
Yeah, oh, for real.
Please.
Yeah.
Please, Star,
Yeah.
do a Survivor podcast.
And
you got
she'll-
2 viewers right here.
And she'll do something, or she'll be a guest on several.
Absolutely.
I'm sure.
I hope so.
So Chrissy's ringing the alarm. Strong people will
Yeah.
bulldoze over the rest of them,
Yeah.
which is absolutely true.
Well, and David says something, and I'm glad we're here because David says something very smart. David said, why is it okay for everybody else to be in an alliance, but as soon as the muscle guys do it, we got a damn problem? That's
Right.
very true.
I mean,
and I will
it's
say
not,
that.
it's not false.
No, it's not. And that's a very good point. We've
Yeah.
seen, alliances of all different kinds.
Right.
And David has a valid point. Why
Yeah.
is ours any different?
Right.
You
I mean,
know?
it's true.
It's very true.
And-
Chrissy's just pissed because she ain't got the numbers.
Well, and that's true. And she is trying to shake these people awake.
Yep.
She's like, all of you people who are the weaker challenge folks, right, that don't have all the muscle and the athleticism, you're going to have to wake up at some point.
Yep.
And
I think that moment's too late.
it's too, I mean, that ship has sailed. We'll get into that. And, David, like you said, strong people used as shields season after season. Mm-hmm. And Chrissy says, well, I'm not on that season, David. I'm on this season.
Yeah. And then David gets pissy and you shouldn't have applied. You should have, whatever. Yeah, he got a little pissy there.
And then Camilla with another zinger.
Yeah.
Okay. I must say, some of you are doing a horrible job of jury management.
And that is true. And I was talking.
Gets a wow from Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff gives her a wow.
And there's that long pause of, oh, shit, she's right.
She's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was talking to my wife at this point, and I'm like, oh, my God. She's the only one smart enough to think about that.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like, and let's talk about the jury for a second.
Right.
If you bully me into voting for you or I'm gone, I'm not giving you $1 million.
Yeah.
That's not a game. That's being a bully.
Right.
Yeah. A game is like you telling me, oh, man, we're good. We got this, brother, to the end. And then you stab me in the back and I'm gone. That's the game.
That's the game.
And I think that's what she's talking about is that this muscle alliance is just bulldozing through.
Yeah.
You piss everybody off at the end, they, how can they vote for you?
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I mean,
and I think
there's
that's
a way,
what Chrissy feels. I
there's
think
a
that's
way
how
to do
she
it.
feels.
There's a way to do it.
Yeah. And
Right?
there's a way not to. And I think that's what Chrissy's getting pissed because that's what they're doing.
Well, Russell Hance went to the end twice.
And didn't win. That's true. That's very
and
true.
played the best game of anybody that has ever played Survivor.
Yep.
Both times.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And did not win the $1 million because he was a bully.
Yep.
And people hated him.
Yep. He would tell them, you don't vote for me, you're out next.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this muscle. I think that's what David's doing at least.
Oh, yeah.
I think Joe's smarter than that.
Yeah.
But I think David. That's why he was getting pissy with Chrissy.
Yeah.
At Tribal.
She's calling him out.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's calling him out,
and he don't like it.
Of course. Yeah. So, Chrissy, in the voting booth, I screwed myself by opening my mouth.
Yep.
You are correct, ma'am.
Yep. Took you 2 days to figure that one out. Yep.
And she's gone.
Yep. She's gone. Voted out.
She says to Jeff as she's leaving, going out swinging, baby.
Yeah.
Which
she said something.
Her.
She said something in the captions too, like you just cost someone $1 million or something.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's why you're there, baby. I mean, what'd you
play the game?
Yeah, you got to play the game. You got to play the hand you're dealt, not the hand you want.
Right.
Shit. We all want to go on Survivor and find, How many players do they start off with? 20?
18,
18? Yeah. I want to find 17 dumbasses I can manipulate and get to the end and win $1 million.
Yeah.
That's what we all want, but that's not what we're going to get.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So we get done with Tribal, and what's the sneak peek for next week?
So the first thing is David saying to Kyle, "You went back on your word."
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be the theme of the next episode, I'm sure, is David trying to manipulate these folks once again. And Shaheen says, "Welcome to the party, David."
Yeah, let's play.
Let's party.
Yeah. Here's what I think's going to happen. I think Kyle and Camilla are going to scoop up Shaheen, Mitch, and Star, and they're going to cause a ruckus. They need to.
They should.
Because if they don't, your final four is Joe, Eva, Mary, and David. That's it.
That's it.
It's
over.
And Joe hasn't really, at least we've seen, it'll be Joe and Eva.
Yeah.
That's who your votes are going to go to, because David's pissed everybody off.
Yep.
But if David don't get in and Mary gets in,
right,
Mary very well may win the thing because she's done great jury management.
Yeah.
You know, she hasn't truly pissed anybody off. She used David to do it for her, which is brilliant.
Yes.
You know?
She's the smartest player in the game right now.
I think her and Camilla.
Yeah, for sure.
I think her and Camilla.
Those
are ones that you can,
those two are my picks now.
Well, imagine if they would get together.
Oh, I thought of that for sure.
Yeah. Who do you think's going home? Next episode. What do we call him?
By the promo, it's David. Mm-hmm. But we don't know. We don't know what the challenge is. We don't know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And with this game, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true. See, last episode, it was like, Chrissy's going home. She run her mouth too much. Yeah. This episode, they sent her home.
But it was close.
But now we're seeing, and that's why I love this game, Tom, because every tribal, there's a new line drawn in the sand.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yep.
You know, that's why I love Survivor.
Yep. And it can turn on a dime, and
instantly.
It can be you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Just that quick.
I think we're going to see an episode where everybody's scrambling.
Oh, sure.
I think this is going to be the Scramble Tribal. You're going to hear everybody's name thrown.
Yeah.
And then I think a blindside is coming next time.
Yeah, for sure.
I would not be surprised if Shaheen went home.
That's very possible.
Somebody's written his name down a couple times. He's starting to get nervous. I think he's going to step up his game more, which might cause a target on his back.
It could. Shaheen.
But I love him. I love him as a player, man. Maybe Kyle.
Maybe Kyle,
David and Joe could get together and be like, bro, we can't trust this dude.
And if he can't rally his troops on the other side, it's c'est la vie. He's done.
Yeah. I think this coming episode will be one of the best episodes of the season. It's what we've been waiting for.
If we don't get more of the same.
Yeah. That's true, too. I hope we don't, but...
If we don't get more of the same.
Yeah.
But I think these other players are going to start realizing that Chrissy was right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's too late.
And
it's not too late yet.
It's not too late for some of these folks.
Yep.
Now, right here is where the game's going to change.
Mm-hmm.
So let's do some counting.
Okay.
Kyle, Camilla... are aligned.
Yep.
Okay. Then there is Mitch, who is an outlier and a vote. Then there's Star.
Yep.
That's 4.
That's 4.
Okay. Then we have Joe. And David. And Eva. And Mary.
That's 4. We're at deadlock. Oh, man, God.
So.
Hurry up, Wednesday. Get here, man. Come on.
If Kyle stays loyal with his strong alliance, one of the underdogs is going home.
Yeah, but this could
be Kyle.
This could be Kyle and Camilla's only
chance
way.
Yeah, that's their only
to break
chance.
up this alliance. Yeah, because if they don't, they're going to go to the end.
Yep. They've got to make a turn here and somebody else needs to win immunity.
That's very true.
Somebody else needs to win immunity. If Camilla
one of
wins,
the four,
yes.
if Star, Mitch, Shaheen, Camilla, if they win, we gonna see a damn good episode,
right?
Because that alliance is gonna eat each other.
And then Eva still has an idol.
Yep,
folks.
Yep, she has an idol.
She might get an advantage.
Yep, we don't know.
So
do we? We do not know what her advantage is. So that's
we don't know whether she's gonna get caught.
Yep.
Who's she gonna get caught by?
Yeah. And for all you Eva haters and saying this game's rigged, piss on y'all, man. Jeff ain't gonna do that shit.
And we love you, Eva.
Yeah,
okay,
we love you.
You're out there doing way outside of your comfort zone and playing the game of Survivor.
But isn't that shitty though, man? Like no one's ever talked about this, but the minute someone on the spectrum shows up, they're helping her win. That's bullshit, man.
Right.
That's bullshit.
It is.
Eva's playing a damn good game.
It is.
You know,
she is playing a fantastic game.
To keep that secret from Joe shows she's already ready.
Yeah.
To do what she needs to do.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Right.
We will see.
We will see if. And she's going to take Joe as far as she can.
Yeah, exactly. But if she takes him to the end, she's done.
Maybe
and she knows
not.
that.
Maybe not.
No. But we'll see. Well.
All right. Well, the holler is spoken, y'all.
Yeah. Quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
This was a long one. There was a lot to talk about.
Yeah. But we all love you.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy it.
Tell them what Grandma will say to us.
God bless you, baby. I love you. I love you. I think about you every night. Every day. God bless you.
I'm praying for you, baby.
Praying for you, baby. Praying.
Every night. All right.
Happy Easter, y'all.